Hey, it's another cloud control video by T. Chase. This one is in October 2021. This is where I try to control clouds with my psychic powers. As I do this, I have to kind of chant to focus the psychic energy. A couple of clouds up here. See this small cloud? I'll focus on this one. I'm going to try to just make this small cloud disappear using psychic powers. Cloud disappear, cloud disappear. Try to make the small cloud disappear. Cloud disappear. Blue sky. Cloud disappear. Cloud disappear. Try to make the cloud disappear. This small cloud. Cloud disappear. Cloud disappear. Cloud disappear. Cloud disappear. Cloud disappear. Cloud disappear. Cloud vanish. Cloud disappear. Cloud disappear. Blue sky. Cloud disappear. Cloud disappear. Cloud disappear. Cloud vanish. Cloud disappear. Cloud disappear. Try to make this small cloud disappear. Cloud disappear. Cloud disappear. Cloud vanish. Cloud disappear. Cloud disappear. Cloud disappear. Cloud disappear. Cloud disappear. Cloud vanish. See, it is fading out. Cloud disappear. Cloud disappear. Cloud disappear. Cloud disappear. Cloud vanish. Cloud disappear. Cloud disappear. Cloud disappear. Cloud. See, it's fading out. Cloud disappear. Cloud disappear. Cloud vanish. Cloud disappear. Cloud disappear. See the clouds fading. Cloud disappear. Cloud disappear. Cloud disappear. Nearly faded out. Try to make that cloud disappear. Cloud disappear. Now we have another cloud here. We'll try to make this small cloud disappear. Cloud. Cloud disappear. Cloud vanish. Cloud disappear. Cloud disappear. Cloud vanish. Cloud disappear. Trying to make this cloud disappear. Cloud disappear. Cloud vanish. Cloud disappear. Cloud disappear. Cloud disappear. Cloud vanish. Cloud disappear. Cloud disappear. See, it's vanishing. Cloud disappear. Cloud. Cloud disappear. Cloud disappear. Cloud disappear. Cloud disappear. Cloud. See, it's about gone. Thank you. T. Chase, October 2021, Cloud Control, Vanishing, Cloud Psychokinesis videos.
How do you catch a customer's attention amidst a sea of similar
This is a weather control, psychic cloud control video by T. Chase. See this cloud? I make videos where I'm able to control clouds by my psychokinesis, psychic power. I'm making this in, recording this September 2010. See this cloud? I'm going to try to turn this cloud into a square-shaped cloud. Make this cloud into a square-shaped cloud. By psychic power, turn it into a square-shaped cloud. Cloud, become a square shape. Cloud. become a square shape. Cloud, become a square shape. Cloud, become a square shape. Cloud, cloud, become a square shape. Turn into a square shape, cloud. Turn into a square shape, cloud. Turn into a square shape, cloud. Cloud, become a square shape, cloud. Cloud, become a square shape, cloud. Turn into a square shape, cloud. See the clouds becoming more a square shape? Cloud, become a square shape, cloud. Cloud, become a square shape.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Tinfoil Tuesday. How's everyone doing? Clued become a square-shaped Clued. I just thought that would be fun to show while we were waiting to get started. How's everyone doing? I hope you're having a wonderful week so far. Let me get this corrected real quick so we are on the right page. Yep. Hope everyone's doing well. How's everyone on YouTube? How's everyone on Twitch? If you're on YouTube, do me a favor and thumbs up the stream. I'd appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yeah, people saying my screen was showing. That was intentional. I just found that video again today, and I thought it'd be fun to show it during the pre-show music stuff. I had a nice couple days off. It was good. I had electrolysis. Went okay, all things considered. Rent paid, so that's good. Place to live for another month. Woohoo! So we got even more costume months for those who missed last week, so I did the math on this. It's over 200 days. I'm on day like 31 of 200 something days of costumes. These tinfoil horns have been broken for a while, so I ordered some new ones, some much more epic tinfoil horns. So I'm slowly trying to build up the tinfoil costume, because frankly, tinfoil's like my main thing I do, and the costume for it's dog shit. So I got some new horns that aren't broken and are pretty cool. I'm gonna probably try and find a shirt for it at some point. Slowly I'm gonna build that costume up. We're also gonna be doing a costume poll soon, not just the daily one, but the one for the new costume. And yeah. That's about it. So we're going to have a fun tinfoil today. Got lots of weird stuff for us to take a look at. Let's see what I missed in chat during the intro. Overthought, thank you for 45 months, says we finally have 5 sub-babies for a full band. Lead guitar, bass, rhythm guitar, drums, and singer. This sub-baby name will double as the band name. Okay, this band name is... Toxic Reciprocity. I don't know why. I just think that'd be a good band name. Let's see if there was anything else before we get started. What's the Clued guy up to these days? Nothing. Those are his most recent videos, and they're from 3 and 4 years ago, respectively. So I don't know what he's up to. Probably talking to clouds, if I had to guess. Let's see. Nerdy, thanks for a 90 stream streak, says... I had a fun day today. I had to get jabbed in the arms twice because my first vein just straight up refused to provide any blood for my blood test just when I thought my body couldn't be. MH Darkbeast with 54 months says, howdy Hannah. Woot for 54 months. Currently in the hospital due to super confusion from ammonia in the blood. No more soda for me outside of a treat. Also discovered I have the same issue as Christopher Reeves without the broken neck, compressed neck in the C2 to C4 neck muscles. Oh, that sucks ass. That sucks a lot. Yeah, I saw your message on Discord. I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully the stream can keep your mind off of things for a little bit. So, Yeah, let's just get into it, I guess. Clued guy has moved on to making ice cubes melt by looking at them. Good business. So let's get into it. I don't know what we're gonna start with first. I don't know if I want to start with the Flat Earth music stuff. This is a playlist, by the way. CC, Chris, Westchester County, hasn't posted in a few weeks, so Baja pointed out to me, hey, did you notice Chris has playlists? Not videos he's made, but he makes playlists of other people's videos. And this is a playlist from CC, Westchester County, of Flat Earth music videos. So thanks, Chris. Hey, Trey, how's it going? I just spilled a bunch of Coke Zero on me. Good job, me. Good job, me. My lap is moist. That's cold. Alright, so let's get into it, shall we? Hey, Robo Twilight, what's up? Let's start with... Let's start with this gentleman. I always enjoy him. I don't know the general consensus from the chat on if they like when we cover this guy or not. Let me know, I guess. But anyway, here's this guy again.
Friends, welcome all of you, almost 113,000 starseeds, lightworkers, and wanderers to this magical session. And today I have channeled the Pleiadians to ask about very interesting question related with the 3D, 5D split, which is happening on our planet as we can sense it is happening, as well as
our Earth is going under meiosis. Meiosis? Mitosis. Whichever one makes the joke work, that's the correct one.
The Pleiadians share with us how we can prepare for this and
Dimensions Beyond Our Own on the bingo card, by the way. We are playing bingo today.
How not to be left behind, which is very important for us.
He's hilarious the first few minutes, then he gets a bit annoying. All right, we'll keep it short and sweet.
Us at this time to
Mitosis
understand has been revealed in this session. Also, the Pleiadians answer about how to pray effectively and what happens when you pray has been revealed, and also how you can use prayer to achieve your desired results has been revealed in this session, which is absolutely amazing.
Pray and then go do the thing you want to happen.
Amazing. And the Pleiadians also have answered about the certain celebrities or singers or actors, they do some symbolism where they close one of their eyes. So this symbolism, has been described, and what is the purpose behind this has been revealed, which is absolutely, mind-blowing to me.
Okay, you're not fun. Talk to the alien. Green guy with a $3 tip says, Clued, disappear, 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 Clued, disappear. The exact number. I did it.
We, the Pleiadians, are now in communications through this instrument at this timeline, and we recommend all entities
He's using his own thumbnails in his own video as an image? That's lazy.
who shall come in contact with our message.
Uses AI on the bingo card. I'm almost certain that photos AI generated. I could be wrong, but it's got the stink AI on it, if you know what I mean.
To use inner discernment and only
What makes for a good tinfoil person to follow? That's a good question. My process is as follows. The theory that there's a balance, right? You can either have someone who's very interesting personality-wise. That's CC, right? The stuff CC says generally isn't that interesting. It's run-of-the-mill flat earth stuff, but he has an interesting personality, right? He's interesting to watch because you can see the complete way in which his conspiratorial thinking has completely overtaken his life, his thought processes, his relationships. That's what's interesting about him. Now, on the other end of it, you have people whose theories are very interesting, but sometimes they're very dry. A lot of the Tartaria people fall into this, where, like, their presentation and their personality, if there even is any that they're presenting in the videos, isn't that interesting, but their theories are pretty out there and interesting. So usually they fall on either end. Occasionally, you'll get your your once in a million, people like Peter, who kind of embody both, right? The things he believes are out there and just make you go, what? But also he has an interesting personality and is quite revealing in the way he discusses these topics that makes him an interesting subject to look at from the perspective of how conspiratorial thought affects a person in their relationships. So those are basically the criteria. My no-goes are when someone is, like, severely mentally ill. And before some of you go, well, what about this person we've covered? I have not shown you the people on this channel generally, at least not more than once, that are severely ill. The closest to that was probably the Moose's Loose guy, or the guy that thought the government was shooting lasers into his teeth. But yeah, it's got to be that balance. Usually it helps if they're a person who is clearly taking care of themselves, and at minimum is, like, in a house, whatever. Because otherwise it's just sad, Anyway, so those are generally my criteria. Unstable Deadbeat says, why did my Uncle Claude just disappear? I don't know. Did he have something to do?
Set those thought forms which resonates within the sense of self, thereby
Evil Gina traveled there, yeah. Sometimes there's a decline. Like Evil Gina. Evil Gina was pretty interesting, but then it became clear that, like, she's not, like, all there mentally, and then it's not fun anymore, it's not interesting, it's just sad. And in fairness, I do watch her because I think it's informative on some level as to conspiratorial thought, because honestly, mental health issues are a facet of a lot of these things, even if it's not necessarily the core component for all conspiracy theorists. So I think it's important to know, but that's for my own personal, like, research purposes. Research, my bullshit internet research. Research said by a non-researcher on the bingo card. It's me. But yeah, not for entertainment, that's for sure.
by
Kind of like Betty Butt Crack? Yeah.
leaving behind those thought forms.
Yeah, that was the same guy who thought the government was stealing his penis length. Which, like, again, from a purely cynical perspective of content, funny, right? Guy thinks government made his penis smaller. On paper, that's hilarious. In reality, he's a severely mentally ill guy who, like, is barely hanging on. You can see what his house looks like. We saw him have a cat that was, like, not doing well. Like, that's not fun. That's not interesting. That's just depressing.
Which do not resonate. Firstly, the query regarding is...
Oh shit, there was a raid while I was talking about the penis length guy. Great. Hi, raiders from KF Logan 1875. How's it going? I'm Hannah. You caught the beginning of Tinfoil Tuesday. This is the main show I do where I look at conspiracy theories and conspiracy theorists and talk about what they believe, why they believe it. We play conspiracy bingo. It's a lot of fun, so maybe give me a follow. We do this multiple times a week, usually, at least once on Tuesday. So yeah, hang out, it's a lot of fun. If you haven't, make sure you check out Kevin's channel over at KF Logan 1875. I believe there's a link in chat. We do, we have a shout out. So make sure you go check out Kevin. Welcome, Raiders.
The 3D, 5D split happening now on Earth. And what are the signs and how not to get trapped behind in the third density? In this regard, before we answer, we suggest discernment.
Thanks, Blue Teddy Terry, and thank you for your follow.
4. We perceive the query regarding the so-called split between the third and the fourth density are...
Oh, I should explain this. This is a guy we watch sometimes. His name is Sam. He claims to speak with aliens, or might be more accurate to say, he claims aliens speak through him. So this is supposed to be an alien, a Pleiadian specifically, which is a specific species of alien speaking wisdom to him, as you do. Fenekagami says, I'm sorry to do this again, but I've been put on leave until sometime in January, and my mortgage is coming up in 2 weeks. I need $700 to $1,000 for a good cushion for it in my bills. The link is also on Discord and Blue Sky from Chaos Phoenix. Please help if you can. And there's the link in the chat if you can help out Fenekagami. It would be appreciated. Ash and Asphodel, thanks for 24 months, says, does the job interview blessing transfer to finals? Because I have one in Chinese and math coming up. I'll give it a shot. You will do good in your Mandarin and mathematics finals. You got this.
For the fifth dimension upon your planetary sphere, we shall endeavor to answer with the precision and clarity that your level of understanding allows.
Condescending much? Alright, since we got some new people coming in, I'll actually start a new video, because why not? Let's start fresh for everyone. Here's a video on the Mandela effect. The Mandela effect is an interesting conspiracy in that it's pretty popular in the pop cultural viral sense. It's usually not that deep. It's not as connected to some of the darker conspiracy corners. You'll see people just post TikToks and stuff about it. But interesting nonetheless. So let's check out this guy's claims of certain Mandela effects. If you've never heard of a Mandela effect, it's the conspiratorial belief that something you misremember, like for instance, people who think it was the Berenstain Bears instead of the Berenstain Bears, or thinking the Monopoly Man had a monocle, stuff like that. It's not just that you're misremembering, you've shifted dimensions. Because obviously you're not fallible, you're perfect. Never change.
So I hope everyone enjoyed their holiday this past Thanksgiving. And I thought it would be an opportune time to talk about something that still has many people thinking twice about reality: the Mandela effect. And since one of the traditional dishes associated with Thanksgiving meals tends to be bread stuffing, the product of the day is stovetop stuffing. Have you heard this one? The stovetop stuffing Mandela mystery. Do you remember Stouffer's stovetop stuffing? Good, because I do too. But this is part of the Mandela effect.
Is this literally just going to be people believing it because it's alliterative? Like, I remember hearing that too, and it's possible that at some point Stouffer's had some kind of stovetop stuffing. But it's also obvious how that kind of thing would happen because, again, it's alliterative. Stouffer's stovetop stuffing. You would probably remember that over Kraft stovetop stuffing, even if it was incorrect.
I can picture the old commercial now. A kid walks into a kitchen. You see the box of Stouffer's on the stove. The mom's preparing it. The name on the box clear in my memory and perhaps in yours as well. But according to the new popular belief, the company never made a stovetop stuffing. It was supposedly always actually Kraft. Now, if you look into this, you'll find that Stouffer's is a company famous for its frozen meals and mac and cheese. It's a subsidiary of Nestle. And Stouffer's primarily produces frozen entrees, side dishes, and family-sized meals.
I'm sorry, is he playing ominous, scary music over pictures of frozen Stouffer's meals?
Many people vividly remember Stouffer's selling a product called Stouffer's Stovetop Stuffing. But apparently, no such product ever existed.
He already said that another brand owns Stouffer's, whichever one he said. He just said it, I'm sorry. Was it Nestle? It's one of the other very large conglomerates. It's one of the other 5 giant companies that owns all the food brands.
This confusion may have arisen from the brand Stouffer's being conflated with stovetop produced by Kraft. Stouffer's currently has macaroni and cheese, lasagna, stuffed peppers, French bread, pizza.
You don't need to list everything Stouffer's has, it's fine.
Lean
Really trying to pad out this video so they can throw mid-rolls in there, huh?
cuisine. And if you look at the packaging, it looks very similar to the stovetop stuffing packaging. which may explain this particular example of the Mandela effect. So I want to take a look at some other examples of the Mandela effect, because even though I am not 100%
You don't like stuffing.
convinced here,
I don't know. That's a pretty wrong opinion.
I do think there is something to this phenomenon that we haven't revealed yet. Stay tuned, because when we come back, we'll find out how much we truly remember. I'll be honest, many of the examples of the Mandela effect are things that have been around for quite a long time, which tells me that either something strange is
I
going
did,
on
Spokane Dogman, thank you.
on here, or maybe some of us are just getting old.
What is this epic music? You're gonna be talking about fucking Kit Kats and shit. Oh my god.
Mandela effect examples that will make you question everything. How many of your favorite childhood movies, TV shows, and treats do you really recall? Let's go
None.
ahead and take a look at these here. Nelson Mandela's death. Everyone knows about that one.
The Nelson Mandela's death one, which is where the name Mandela effect comes from, annoys me because it definitely comes from a case of, like, idiots who don't know anything about history being like, my initial impressions about something were incorrect, so everyone else is wrong, not me. It comes from people being like, I remember Nelson Mandela dying in prison. And it's like, well, here's the thing, though. He's pretty famous for not dying in prison and becoming the president of South Africa. So, like, you're just really dumb? And I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. You didn't switch dimensions. You just didn't pay attention in history class or the news, depending on your age.
Shaggy's Adam's apple. Do you remember Shaggy from Scooby-Doo with a big Adam's apple?
No.
Maybe as he inhales a giant sandwich. So do tons of others, but in reality, it's nowhere to be seen. I don't know, maybe they're looking at his beard there, or the little hairs on his beard, and what they remember is an Adam's apple. Let's take a look here.
Green guy with $3 says, Hannah, I like stuffing. My wife does too. Correct answers.
Mickey Mouse's suspenders.
He never had suspenders. Again, your propensity for having a Mandela effect seems directly linked to how familiar you are with the thing. Because I'm very familiar with Steamboat Willie, and I'm very familiar with Scooby-Doo, and I don't have either of those. You know what I mean? It's almost like people just misremember shit.
Remember this cartoon? I don't remember any suspenders in this cartoon. I think this was...
Wow, he's literally gonna go down a listicle. Lazy. Alright, moving on. Let's get into some of the Flat Earth music. This is gonna be painful. This is an epic rap battles of history, but, like, not really. I'm pretty sure this was put together by a bunch of Flat Earthers. It was. So this is gonna be painful. This is basically a ripoff of epic rap battles of history, but made by Flat Earthers. So here we go. Hey, Sophie.
Epic rap battles of history. Good spirit.
ERB, but shit. I hate to break it to you, but if you haven't watched epic rap battles of history since you were 13, does not hold up. And I liked it when it first started too, because again, I was like a 13-year-old.
Mercy, the globe versus flat earth.
What's up, my G's? You know me from film and TV. I'm the Earth you see. That's globe with a capital G. Ooh, you kidding me? Flat Earth, that's a thing? Please, that's 1493. Okay. You're a pancake in space. Flying breakfast for the thinking debate. Come on. You forgot about astronomy. Oh yeah, the space race. Huh. I'm pretty sure NASA got a video of this place. Say cheese. I'm telling you facts, so please get out of my face.
Wait, you're calling me a joke in this race? You're a ball in a vacuum of space that somehow holds water to its face. That
Gravity. Yep.
pancake in space is meant to be whack, created by control flat earth hats. You're a TV show, that's a rap. A cross between the Brady Bunch and a David Blaine mishap. Stop flying about the galaxy, we're bringing the truth back. NASA robs us with GoPro footage of a flat map.
Oh man,
You just tried to punk a GoPro? Pretty ballsy when I own the high altitude show.
Why does a GoPro get a verse?
And when it comes to showing
Like, I get why. It's because they think that GoPros show that the Earth is flat because of its convex lens or whatever. Frustrating.
curve, I'm really quite known. I even got super slow. You think questioning me will get this cover blown? You're just a grainy telephoto. Shaky ass Nikon glass, can't touch this wide portfolio. I'm lightweight and I can work solo.
Call me a skeptic, you just got slayed with one click. P900 zooming in, infrared, that's sick. Recent upgrade gear, I'm killing it. Brand new lens, all black, they're filling him. A 125x grateful, zooming in, go.
The P900 gets a verse because flat earthers often use P900 or P1000 cameras to do what they consider experiments, where they incorrectly understand optics in order to try and explain why the Earth is flat.
So please step back, are you listening? Tight on boats, and the moon through the haze. This is science on display. Who took those pictures? Why did it look so sad? Let me snap you, I'll even use my flash. Snap, snap.
¿Qué hay de mí? Soy un telescopio anticuado, puedo ver a lo lejos y sé si un bote va por la curva o no.
Luck now, thanks for following.
Sí.
Right. Sorry about that.
The P900 is 10 years old and it's been superseded by like 3 other models already. Yeah, but the thing is, they don't trust the newer models necessarily because they think that big camera is onto them and that they're going to alter the newer versions of the cameras so they can't prove flat Earth anymore. Wish I was making that up. I've had to cover videos when they announce, like, you know, as they release new versions of something, they'll stop releasing the old one or they'll stop producing the old one. When they stopped producing the P900, a bunch of flat earthers thought it was a conspiracy to stop them from actually proving the Earth is flat, when in reality, you know, they also don't make old iPhones anymore. Or whatever. Same thing.
Shut it, guys!
Paranoia is a hell of a drug. That is one of the key factors in conspiratorial thinking, is the paranoia. Nothing ever just happens in a conspiratorial thought process. Everything is connected. Everything happens for a reason, and ultimately it comes back to you in some way, and your primary, like, interests and beliefs.
Let me try talk over your size. I'm Bill Nye, highly qualified science guy. Get hypnotized by my bow tie as I help mankind in this science try. And I'll teach your kids, and I'll mold the young wits. That's what we calculated when we calculated this. So, you want some curvature pics? Then sit, cause class has begun, you nitwits. NASA already
Well, that guy's bad.
gave you fits, proving the curve in one of their skits. Seriously, it's complicated. They can't get far enough back to take a decent picture. They have to stitch it together in Photoshop. It is photoshopped.
But it has to be. Oh, Bill, don't bring up the #1 meme. Leave it to the sciencey brother, Neil deGrasse to the Tyson G. Can't find my intellectual equal? That's a common problem for people. But I'm original, not like a sequel.
Those that don't know, flat earthers hate Neil deGrasse Tyson, like, a lot. And you don't need to like Neil deGrasse Tyson. I've kind of heard he's a douche. But, like, they really hate him in, like, a weird vindictive way, because he's a science communicator, and for a period of time he appeared on a lot of shows and stuff teaching people about, you know, astronomy, cosmology, whatever. They really hate the guy to a really not cool degree.
Smooth chocolate, flowing over astrophysical features. I gave Joe Rogan his sellout procedures. Indoctrinated him like a demonic preacher.
I don't even know how to touch that one, so...
That's my gig, bro. Cause I'm a one-man mic dropping crap show. And your flat earth man had me in stitches. Who's too big for his britches. A singing cowboy mascot who don't even know that he's British. Yeah, that's D to the E-licious.
Did someone just throw insults at the flat earth man? I'm the guy that exposes your theoretical scams. People, sick and tired of your Cosmo animations. You're talking out your neck, you got too much imagination.
This guy is a, relatively speaking, famous flat earth musician. He's like the flat earth musician. He goes to their like conferences and stuff, and he does his music. He has albums that they buy, digital only, I think, but like, he's the flat earth music guy.
Truth-telling, musical machine. NASA ain't the only one that can use a green screen. I got musical skills that will entertain and educate. And all you are is blah, 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 indoctrinate. My truth-telling songs are specifically designed to expose the NASA lies and...
Oh, Big Gay apparently does have an actual CD. I will say, making the CD flat earth, it's the obvious choice, but it's also the correct choice. So even though I disagree with him, yeah, that's probably the correct choice aesthetically. That's good. I'm a little biased because, like, look at my mouse pad. The aesthetic of conspiracy is fascinating to me. I really love that shit. The believing it that's annoying. Bittergrin with 100 bits says, all I can say for sure is that Bill Nye is very kind to stage crew. Oh, that's good to know. I'm glad. Final player, thanks for following.
Open some minds. NASA is a joke, man. They belong in the trash. Stealing 50 million a day of our cash. We all sick and tired of your transparent lies. We all sick and tired of your CGI. We all sick and tired of your so-called pictures. You never give us real photos. Ain't that suspicious?
Except they do release real photos, but no matter what, you call them fake. And I'm not even just talking about composite images, which aren't fake any more than a panoramic photo from your camera is. But even putting those aside, because they have issues with that, there are absolutely photos of the Earth that are just in their totality. You call them fake. Nothing satisfies the issue, because this isn't an issue of intellectual honesty. Conspiracy theories are a very emotionally driven thing. There's nothing wrong with emotions. I'm not saying, like, we all need to be these cold, like, strictly logical Vulcan beings. I am just saying that this is not a position that you reach intellectually. This is generally a position that comes from an emotional need that's not being met, or something along those lines.
Well, that's suspicious, don't you think?
Do you think I gesticulate enough, by the way? Should shoot this in 3D. P-Meal, thanks for a $25 tip. Thank you very much.
Knock knock. Hello, kids.
What?
Science here. I'm your
Oh, it's science? The letter S is science?
friend. If a flatty questions me and you wanna win, just call out my name. It's all you gotta do.
Scientism on the bingo card. Scientism on the bingo card. Oh, by the way, for the Raiders, I don't know if I said, we play Conspiracy Bingo, and the first winner of bingo, every time we do, you know, one of these streams, gets a free gift sub for themselves or for a random person if they'd like. So if you'd like, use the bingo command to get your card.
Bloody Mary requires 3 times, but mine is less than 2. Science! 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 Science!
I'm gonna go with scientism and misunderstanding of the scientific method on the bingo card.
There you go, you just won a debate! Don't you feel empowered and pretty great? Remember, kids, you know the globe is real, cause it looks so fake! Fake!
Just when I think you guys couldn't be any dumber, you go and rap like that. And totally redeem yourselves!
This is like too many cooks. We're not even halfway done with this. I want to point out, if you thought that was the end, because it felt like the natural end point of this video, and you're like, okay, it's wrapping up. We are not halfway through this. Remember what they say, kids. Kill your darlings. There is such a thing as too much.
Brian Cox, you rookie. I can demonstrate the universe using Star Wars cookies. No reason to fear this three-headed agenda. We speak with sugar, but we're toxic like splendor. Don't look behind the flat earth curtain. Nothing to see here. No cultures believed in flat earth. For that, I'm certain. Seeing faraway things, it's refraction from behind the curve. That's what's happening. Their cause is hurting, yet black tards are taking action and talking, but more like a fad that's passing.
Yeah, right. There's no curfew. Thought you knew what I'm the brochure. I specialize.
That's Nathan, what was his name? Nathan Thompson's Flat Earth pamphlet, I believe. The guy that got caught out in that prank and put on the duck costume and got in trouble for trying to share flat earth literature with elementary school children at recess, and he got banned from the school because, as it turns out, going up to the fence during recess and being like, come here kids, not a good thing to do. Not a good thing to do.
Hand to hand, paper cuts deep, I'm in demand. Cartoon Earth is not valid. I ask the question in my reflection. YouTube search, all controlled by the power structure that we all know. Can't stop this 5-cent paper from spreading the truth. Don't believe the hype and the global lies they're pushing at you. Read up, get a flat taste. I'm invading your space. Switch to panorama, just a flash smack right across your face.
I'm sorry, is money on who? I can't. Who's? We're a little over halfway done now. I will say that we're a little over halfway done now. Money is getting a verse in this flat Earth rap. Chat, I want you to guess by the end of this video who else will get a verse in this overly long video. We've had Neil deGrasse Tyson, Bill Nye, science, the Earth, both flat and circular.
The box still looking green. My accolades pretty obscene. Since 58, I've been on the scene. Got cosmic bling, fun and thing. You were printed at Kinko's like last week.
Amber with 60 bits says, okay, the argument that NASA makes so much money so it must be fake really bothers me. If that's the case, then why don't these people complain about the orders of magnitude more, in my opinion, we waste on the DoD, the Department of Defense? Because for them, it's a personal vendetta against science because their worldview does not comport with a naturalistic worldview espoused by science. They're trying to... Excuse me. They have a vendetta against basically every ideological change since the Enlightenment. Overthought says, if the Rothschilds show up, we end stream.
That's it, I'm done with this. Spirits hear these words, I'm wishing, raise his corpse from his earthly prison. I summon thee, forgive my old English, I'm a bit rusty. Trapeze, throw beam, Manny, Conti! Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Charles Darwin at your service.
It's Charles Darwin's zombie? Sure, fuck it, whatever. Overthought, thanks for gifting a sub to Dr. Baha, my wife. Much appreciated.
No, from the past, my theories were iconoclast that made an...
See what I mean? It's ostensibly a flat Earth video, but all of a sudden we're talking about Charles Darwin and evolution. They don't just hate round Earth. They hate the concept of science, naturalism. They hate physical reality as it exists.
Icon at last! My concepts change the world, you see! I'm ahead of my class! I'm the origin of the species! How dare you step in my path! Secondary title didn't go over, oh well, things digress. Don't forget the things I said, I'm dead, but now I'm stressed. That was the point of me picking the fittest, and now I hope you go next! Worship my endless lies, I'll haunt you till the end of time! You came from a monkey!
The offense some people take at understanding that we are apes, that we are, like, hominids and are in fact related to like other apes is kind of funny to me if it wasn't such a genuine problem. Like, the people that get offended about it really bewilder me. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Chill out.
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology.
Oh, an Office Space parody. Okay.
Destroyed that technology.
Whenever they play that destroyed that technology clip, it always frustrates me that they seem not to understand that the rockets and stuff we went to the moon with were one-offs. They weren't reusable. They were destroyed in their usage. So yes, they were destroyed because we used them.
That's suspicious, don't you think? Hey, everybody say! Stand up!
Ignition sequence start. 3, 2, 1.
NASA. We lost our technology.
Oh, this guy is just supposed to be NASA. Okay.
To go back to the moon, see? We did a techno reset for our unease.
Will water get a verse? It should, and it should all be about water don't curve. You've got some nerve. I don't know how to rhyme.
Now we have a better tease. Consider Mars, please. Please! NASA. Yeah, our astronauts are just actors on strings. From CGI props to green screen. Bubbles in space, pretty routine. We show you, yet most do not see. That's the law we heed. Cause if we own your soul, then we own your belief. Cause if we own your soul, then we own your belief. Cause if we own your soul, then we own your belief.
Yapazoa, thanks for 100 bits, says, don't worry, Hannah, they don't know how to rhyme either.
There is no escape. Don't make me troll you. Join us, and I will complete your training.
I'll never join you!
If you only knew the power of the globe. You were never told what happened to your father.
Lucas Dawn, thanks for 42 months. Starts a hype train. Thank you very much.
You killed him!
No.
When's Disney suing? If Disney was going to start suing people for pastiches of Star Wars, I think they'd have about 50 years of backlog to get through.
I am your father.
At least they got the line right. That's good.
Such a feelings.
You know this to be true.
You know it to be true.
Alright, cut his hand off. Excuse you. Hold on. Excuse you, the scene in which the astromech droid R2-D2 throws Luke his lightsaber was not in the scene from Empire Strikes Back on Cloud City. The scene which is being pastiched here, that was actually in the opening Jabba sand yacht segment from Return of the Jedi.
Hey, everybody say! Stand up against scientism. Stand up, it's a mind prison. Stand up, we ain't gonna listen. Stand up, to the bar religion. Stand up against scientism. Stand up, it's a mind prison. Stand up, we ain't gonna listen. Stand up, to the bar religion.
Yapazoa, thanks for a 225 stream streak, 775 to go. Written and directed by friend of Yahweh. Yahweh being the name of basically the Judeo-Christian no, not just Judeo-Christian, Abrahamic religions. The god of Abrahamic religions, that's the word. 75% to level 1 on the hype train. That was really difficult to get through. Hey, let's watch some more Flat Earth songs. Skifazoa, thanks for another 100 bits. Oh, Nemesaur, thank you for gifting 20 tier 1 subs. Thank you so much.
The earth is flat. We've all been lied to by the Democrats.
As we all know, Democrats are the ones who push the round earth. Obviously. Eratosthenes, that dirty demon-crat.
I'll never trust another diplomat.
Oh, he's cool. He fucking smokes. Did you see that? He's fucking smoking. Oh, doctors tell you not to smoke, but he doesn't trust doctors. Oh, good move.
Hurts me, you don't feel the same. The Martians probed my brain. Oh, yeah. What can I do? What can I do to prove to you it's all a lie? So say goodbye.
Arizona, thanks for 100 bits. 16% to level 6 on the hype train.
Basic geography, I know you're about
Bittergrin, thanks for 100 bits.
Live in a simulation. We live in a simulation.
Fucking simulation theory, man. Hate. Hate. Simulation theory is borderline just techno-solipsism. And I'm tired of it.
And I'll need your
also, that pizza looks like dog shit. What are you doing?
Operation to alert the entire nation.
Solus says, Hannah, what's it with the dogmatic dedication to this outlook, though? No matter what, it's like a spiteful "you're not my dad" thing. Oh god, if I get into this, it's gonna come off as pop psychology bullshit, because that's what it is. So there's your warning, that's what it is. This is bullshit, but here's my entirely vibes-based feelings on this that are not true, but I'm gonna say it anyway. H-Baird says, but we're in a simulation and God is a grad student who's off playing Flip Cup right now. And Terradona says, the Martians wouldn't probe his brain, they probe other stuff, but never brains. Oh god. Okay, so like I was saying, the stupid bullshit thing that's definitely not true, but my vibe about it is, in modern life, a lot of people have an abject lack of agency. We are the pieces in a system that is so much larger than ourselves, and different people deal with that in different ways psychologically. Some people are able to cope with that more than others, the recognition at the vastness of society and the things that we are a part of, and our very small place in them, you know? Our very small amount of agency over the things around us. So I think some people's coping mechanism for that is to buck against it, and to take every little petty thing they can to say, no, I'm not doing what you tell me, because they already feel so controlled throughout every little thing in society, and they feel like nothing they do can make a difference, even in their own lives. So it becomes this, like, weird compulsion to always be the opposite. There's other factors on top of that. Poor material conditions tend to make people more paranoid, which is definitely a factor. But, I don't know. Like I said, this is all vibes-based speculative bullshit. Don't take it seriously.
Of my newfound revelation.
Now, see, here's the problem, though. People are going, I honestly don't think that hypothesis is wrong, and people are like, I like that theory. Things that feel right aren't necessarily right. That's the same thing conspiracy theorists are doing. Just because what I just said feels right doesn't matter at all. Unless you actually had some data to back it up. We're just talking and accepting things, and, like, worldviews and models just because they feel right is, like, the problem. I don't know.
I also believe space is fake.
30 seconds on the hype train.
The Earth is
Thank you, Overthought. Damn right I'm wrong. Oh no, it's hello. Okay.
Hello, it's me.
That's a little too close. I'm actually afraid I'll get copyrighted for that one. So we'll move on. Thank you for that hype train, everyone. This one doesn't even have a visual component.
Oh
my god, this is the Baby Got Back one. Yes, I need to pee first, but then we're absolutely watching this. Well, I'm going. Cher will tell you about the classic film. I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry. I think this was $2, which was probably $2 too many to pay for this. But sometimes you gotta buy a terrible movie for its moment in culture, you know? This is basically the only decade in which this movie could have been made. Anyway, I'll be right back after I pee. It was a bad movie in the 2000s, I know, but I've shown you so many of my good movies. Altered Undying says, unironically thinking of hunting this down. The movie, it's really not good. I own It's Pat, too. I like weird dated films. Alright, back at it with the Baby Got Back. Maybe better known as I Like Big Butts. Flat Earth parody. Hey, Ash. Altered Undying says, I forgot the link. To what about it? I've never seen this version of Beowulf. I don't know if I've ever seen a version of Beowulf. I've read it in school. But...
my goodness. Becky, look at this Earth. It is so flat. It looks like a gigantic frisbee, but, you know, who understands those flat earthers anyway? They just say it's flat because it's a total psyop, okay?
Psyop on the bingo card.
I mean, the Earth, it's obviously a ball. I can't believe they'd even deny that it's round. That's like out there. I mean, weird. Look, it's just so flat. I like flat Earth and I cannot lie. You flat earthers can't deny. When an astronaut from outer space put that round thing in your face, you just laugh. Wanna prove it's flat, cause you know they're full of crap. Deep in the lie they're spinning, zoom in and reappearing. Oh NASA, don't wanna get with ya, cause you take fake picture. My husband tried to warn me, cause that Earth you got is oh so corny. Oh Mr. Tyson, you say the Earth is a pear? Well show me, cause I'm pretty sure that's baloney. I've seen the horizon with no fish islands. It's flat with a hat and a
He's saying it's flat.
still as a well-trained cat. I'm tired of magazines, say around Earth is the thing. Take the average Joe and show him the math. You're gonna question your facts. So fellas, does your girlfriend know it's flat? Oh yeah. Then share it, share this cause it's flat. The Earth is flat. Burn the myth with the ice wall border. Burn the myth with the ice wall border. The Earth is flat. Burn the myth with the ice wall border. Burn the myth with the ice wall border. I like the truth, no fib, and this lie is big. I just can't help myself, I gotta dismantle this entire scandal. I wanna show the world it's flat, double up, flat, flat. I ain't talking about a spinning disc, cause that is not what the Bible says. The word
Ancient wisdom on the bingo card.
says it can't be shaken, it sits on a foundation, and it can't be moved, but they didn't teach that in school. So I'm watching flat earth videos. So much truth is being exposed. You can have them astronauts. I'll keep God's word and
He's not the worst. How dare you? I could do Baby Got Back so much better than this. You remember my stunning rendition of Ice Ice Baby? This is offensive.
thoughts. A word to the wise flat earthers I wanna show with ya, with a fancy camera. We could even go out and look at Mars and the rest of the stars. Earth got it going on. A lot of people won't like the song, cause they don't want to admit it, and they'd rather say I'm cray. But they're wrong, cause Armstrong was lying all along. So ladies, if you wanna be liberated, then look it up. Read the facts, even Bill Nye says we're trapped. The Earth is flat. Burn the myth with the ice wall border. Burn the myth with the ice wall border. The Earth is flat. Yeah, baby. When it comes to mathematics, NASA thinks we're all a bunch of fools.
I wonder why.
60 miles equals 2,400 feet of curvature. And somehow, we can still see the city. Not hard to explain gravity with density and buoyancy, but Barack said he ain't got no
Buoyancy literally doesn't work without gravity as a vector. I've said this so many goddamn times. Phyllis Filler says, then do it! No.
time for folks like me. Mr. Obama don't want none unless it's fake news, hun. You can share 1,000,000 photos, but they'll all be photoshopped. Some guy even said they have to be, and he says the earth is a globe.
I'm pretty sure my cause of death's gonna be aneurysm on stream one of these days, and it's gonna be one of these videos that does it.
And some people
don't know which one. We're really playing with fire here at this point.
Still believe it, but I pull up quick to reveal it. They say the earth ain't flat. Well, I ain't down with that, cause the ISS is clearly lying, and the rockets are flying into the Bermuda Triangle. It ain't no mystery. Show me a bridge, lighthouse, or railroad that works with the curve of the globe. You think that I'm insane, but pilots don't dip the plane.
Flat Earth and Obama's on the bingo card. I don't know if I said Flat Earth, but obviously.
NASA is making billions, hiding proof of God's existence. So if you think the earth is round and people live upside down, look up Flat Earth for yourself and lose them crazy thoughts. The earth is flat.
We're gonna do a bingo recap in a sec.
Burn them with the ice wall border. The earth is
that little square walk she's doing.
Burn the myth with the ice wall border. Curvy on the top, but it's still so flat. Curvy on the top, but it's still so flat. Curvy on the top, but it's still so flat. Curvy on the top, but it's still so flat. It's flat.
That was really... Let's take a look at the bingo card real quick before we move on. Oh boy, Ancient Wisdom, Flat Earth, uses AI, Spurious symbology is evidence. Wait, did we have that? I'm gonna say yes. Doesn't understand how cameras work with the GoPro stuff and the P900 stuff. Were giants mentioned? Genuinely not sure. That might have been before stream. My research said by a non-researcher, because I said it. Hey, Queen Pip, how's it going? Hannah mentions Blu-rays. Clinton's, Biden's, Obama's, PSYOP. Scientism. Weather control for the cloud guy earlier. Is that it? Might be it. You don't remember giants? Okay, maybe that was something I watched before stream then. Sometimes it blurs on me. Yep, my research said by a non-researcher. 5D, we did have 5D. Where's Dimensions Beyond Our Own? There it is, 66 Dimensions Beyond Our Own. Alright. Oh boy, oh boy. Do we want to do another Flat Earth song? We'll take a break from the songs. I don't know if we'll come back to it or not, but for now we'll move on to... Ooh! This guy's gonna tell us about Yakub, the scientist that created white people. Have we talked about this one? I feel like we've talked about it briefly, but I don't know if we've ever gotten into this conspiracy about the fucking Yakub shit. Oh.
You're asking that question about Yakub, the big...
This is what he looks like, by the way. He's got a big boy brain. Fuck yeah, Yakub. You think buying hats was just like the biggest bitch for him? Or was everyone's head that big?
Big head scientist. That is such...
Shirts must be weird too. You gotta do button-ups. You never get something that goes over the head and then... Although I guess it was really elasticy, but you're probably mainly going with button-ups, right? I don't know. Gitara, thanks for 35 months, says Praise Paul.
Such a big story that I think I'm going to read some stuff because it's a very big story, right? So you can find that story for those who have the Holy Tablets, right? In chapter 16, the Underworld. That's the chapter. The name of the chapter is chapter 16, the Underworld. And you can see...
Oh, they got little pictures too. I don't know what book he's reading. Whatever it is, seems great.
A picture there of the Donakil. Now, I'm going to read some information. The best book really that goes into the details of the Yakub story is the book called Shambhala and Agatha, Cities Within, right? The Cities Within, because the
sounds legit.
Planet Earth is hollow, right? And there's a diagram called the hollow Earth. But that diagram explains about how...
Look at someone drew a picture of it. So it's gotta be true. Also, I've seen those King Kong versus Godzilla movies, and I don't think they'd lie to me. So, sold. Very sold.
The planet is hollow. And when we say hollow, there are actually caverns. So depending on how far you're digging down into the center of the Earth, there are caverns on the way. And that map called the hollow Earth, you can Google it and you see it. There are caverns in between, not right in the
See, you can see it in this drawing.
center, but like in between as you're going down. Many, many different caverns. And those caverns have been there for a long time. And you have different extraterrestrials that live there. And the Donakil, who I've shown a picture of, is one of those beings. Then you have like the Dwanis.
Ooh, yeah. I like the Dwanis. They're like little, what are those things? Remember troll dolls? They're like troll dolls, but real. It's magical. I love them.
The Dwanis, they look like that. They're like porcupines.
They look like, you remember in the era where there was like, Joe Dante came out with Gremlins, and then suddenly there were all sorts of little creature movies, like Critters and Munchies, and, what's another one? The one where they go to college. Did critters go to college? No, that was the other one. Who went to college? Anyone know what I'm talking about? The ghoulies! The ghoulies went to college! Thank you. Anyway, they look like a mix of Ewoks and some sort of creature from a movie called, like, what would these be called? The Furbles. The Furbles would be the name of the movie these people are in. I don't know.
Pine beings, they are very smart.
Leprechaun did go to the hood, and then more importantly, he made the best movie in the franchise when he went back to the hood.
You have the Teros.
It's like Bigfoot and Ewok crossbreeds. That's basically just an Ewok Wookiee pairing. So.
Yeah, the Teros.
You ever notice that it's almost the same name? Ewok Wookiee, Ewok Wookiee, Ewok Wookiee, Ewok. I know the reason. George Lucas originally wanted it to be on Kashyyyk, and he wanted them to be Wookiees, but they didn't have the budget for it or something. Still.
They look like that. These are like the cone head that you would have seen in like Star Trek and certain movies that depict.
I'm sorry, is he under the impression that the...
These are like the cone head that you would have seen in like Star Trek and certain...
Does he think that the cone heads are from Star Trek because of this TV guide cover? Because I'm rewatching TNG right now, and I don't think Dan Aykroyd shows up, as great of an episode as that would have been.
And movies.
Jane Curtin.
That depict these different beings, but the Earth...
They're from France. France.
Earth has a grid system, right, as you can see there. There's so much...
Again, I love that he just says, as you can see, and then the drawing is the proof.
Information. I'm just building up to then go into that story of Yakub, because Yakub, who's referred to as the big head scientist, he came about...
A good title.
As a...
If everyone has a big head, that's kind of weird, right? Is he a big head if everyone's got a big head?
Product of a mixture between the Donarcule and the Teros. So yeah, that whole chapter, if you read the Underworld, chapter 16 in the Holy Tablets goes into it, and the book Shambhala and Agatha, Cities Within, that goes into more detail. But what I'm going to do is, again, from even the Melaninite children, which is scroll number 133, that goes into... So what I'm going to do is just read an excerpt and then talk about Yakub. All right, so the question on page 43 says descendants of the Deros, right? It shows you the Deros, which I didn't mention.
What is this world building? I love it. What are these things? They got what's his name? Fucking de Bergerac noses. What's his name? Fuck. Starts with a C, I want to say. Cyrano. They got Cyrano de Bergerac noses. Kingpin-esque bodies. One of them has rockin' tits, which good for them. Very jealous. And just thunder thighs for days. What a magical, magical land.
But they're like the obese looking types of beings. But then there's a question. You mentioned two other groups of beings earlier. The Donarcule. Right, I'm going to write some of the words that are quite hard to maybe know. So the Donarcule and the Tero. Yeah, when we say Tero, we put the plural and we say Teros. Yeah, but it's Tero. Who are they? The answer is the Donarcule, whose original home is in the 8th planet Risk. Right, so the name of the planet is Risk. This is where our master teacher comes from as well, right? It says the 8th planet Risk of the 19th galaxy, Ilion. Ilion is ILLYU. Ilion, right?
Is this a weird D&D campaign? This does have a little bit of the vibe of someone explaining their campaign to you. Like, all right, here's all my stuff. I say that in an entirely positive way, by the way. It's unfortunate he believes this, but his enthusiasm is certainly, something.
The name of the galaxy, have an abundance of melanin in their skin, for they are related to your forefathers, the woolly-haired beings, those who bear 9 ether, the Anunnaki, right? Again, remember, these terms This is when he was still teaching us the Sumerian doctrine and the terms that were being used, such as Anunnaki or Elohim, which we obviously know there are different species, and you know, we know them as the Parnatharu today. All right, they're descendants of us. All right, who are the Shuyuk. The Shuyuk, that's spelled S-H-U-Y.
Just a Peach with a $2 super chat says, you see Green Guy's tip when you went to the restroom. Sorry, let me double check. Green Guy with a $3 tip says, Hannah, my shoes feel right. Are they fake? Is that supposed to be tight? My bed feels right. Is it fake? My wife feels right. Is it fake? Oh, I see what you mean, because I said the right thing earlier. I'm not saying that something feeling right is wrong. I'm saying if it's the only criteria for a, like, hypothesis you have, that's not enough.
UKH. The Shuyuk. These are the elders, right? The elders, the Riskians. Teeth.
I'm going to skip to the section called The Parents of Yakub and How They Met.
Question is, did Lucianus have any children by Fuqua? The answer is no. Lucianus bore Fuqua no children. She, by shadow hour, left the caverns and went to the surface and sought out Fuqua's brother. Fuqua's brother's name was Yishak. People say, you know, it became Isaac, but Yishak or Yishuk. She sought out Fuqua's brother Yishak, and Yishak lived in the best part of the planet, the enclosed garden. She was welcomed by him, who hated his twin brother. So Yishak's twin brother was Fuqua, and he hated him. All right, so Yishak, even though he knew it was wrong to take Lucianus as his own, he did. So that's the picture of
How did she feel
Fuqua,
about that?
And I'm going to carry on. Like I said, it's a build-up to the story of Yakub, and it's very...
The best part of the planet. What's the best part of the planet on Earth? If you were doing a similar comparison, what's the best part of planet Earth?
Important to know this background. And that's Lamsa from the Tero, all right? And I'll show you a picture of how this is all of them. So you have, that's Yishak, Lucianus, the mother of Yakub, this is where it's getting to. And then this is Radia, the daughter of Fuqua. And then you have the son, Hatif, right? Who was originally supposed to marry her, but obviously she ran away.
Jesus. Okay, I'm going to this section. Why did Yakub have a large head?
Yakub, who was born hydrocephalic, having the head twice the size of his tribe members, the Donacule and the Teros. Because of it, by no fault of...
So he's a big head amongst big heads. He's got a double big boy brain. They got big brains, but he's got the biggest brain.
His own, he got much attention. Because
in the land of the big-headed, the even bigger-headed man is king.
He had the head the size of two men. When he grew up, many referred to him as the big head scientist, right? So he was scorned, mocked. Thus, he wanted to get revenge.
The best jokes of the stream are the ones I laugh at and no one else does.
On his people.
Those are the ones that I live for, really.
He owed his peculiar appearance to the fact that he was mixed for the Teros, right? Because the Teros they have that kind of like...
You did, Diogenes, you did.
You know, the cone head.
Oh, thanks for drawing
the Teros
it.
look like that, with the cone heads.
Show us what you've got.
Yeah. And then you had, obviously, the Donacule, they had just round heads, but he came out with two brains. So they already had big heads anyway. So the mixture of these two made him look different. But
he has two brains, like the man with the screaming brain.
His wife, Lucianus, was herself disagreeable from the tribe of agreeable Teros, who had a dome shaped skull. This combination produced the unsightful Yakub. The Pteros lived in an adjacent cavern to the Donacles. The Terror, Lucianus, refused to stay amongst the Donacles.
Okay, I think I'm done with the Yakub stuff for a while. We haven't even gotten to him creating white people, but holy shit. We might have to do a whole stream just on the Yakub stuff, because it is pretty interesting, but I would like to find a more succinct source for it. Alright, let's see. Try this one. This is just called Creepy Stuff You Find on the Internet.
Some photos and pictures. We have the salute. The salute. Why do you do that salute? I do not understand. Why do you do that salute with a hand? I've seen this before in the 20th century. Okay, this is the so-called rock sign or the pyramid. Hey, Tom.
Spurious symbology is evidence on the bingo card.
Cruise, Ben Stiller, Al Sharpton, and Warren Buffett. I know. I'm just seeing things. I see people doing things. Obama, I don't know why they're doing these things. I am ignorant. Why is Obama doing
I would agree. I would agree with that statement.
The same sign as Bill Clinton, huh? President. Anyway, and Bush Jr. I don't know.
People do that for a variety of reasons. In Texas, it can mean hook 'em horns, which is like the Longhorns, the Texas Longhorns. This could be like a rock-on symbol. It could be like a chaka-bra type thing. It could be you catching them mid-gesticulation and it just happens to be like that. Some people point like that. But of course, conspiracy theorists always go to the nefarious reason.
I just... oh, look at Justin Bieber. No, triple X. No, triple X. Triple six. Yes, I was thinking something else. Hey, so we have... that. Yeah, well, yeah. Rated R, rock sign, the Diablo, the horns, Baphomet in water, Rihanna in the triangle. I know, I'm just seeing things. Look, oh, celebrity, Beyonce, doing the rock sign, Britney Spears. Hey, I see you too. I remember the days when 1999 she was so hot in that high school type thing outfit.
Don't say that, man. You're too old to say that. This is the Nazi apologist guy, by the way. I don't know if I said that. This is the guy that he believes that Nazis at the end of World War II secretly went to Antarctica and built a Nazi secret society. And he literally did a really sad video where he was basically putting a video out begging the secret Antarctic Nazis to come and get him, to save him from, like, the degenerate world he lives in. So this guy is a Nazi that wants to go live with Antarctic Nazis. So don't, like, feel super bad for him.
So, this is, let's see, Spears, Aguilera, and Timberlake in Mickey Mouse Club. And then we have the, oh, no, I'm not going to read the Monarch stuff. And then, hey, Britney Spears and Madonna kissing. It's the 2003 MTV Video Music Awards. It's a public thing, okay? It's for everybody to see. Eminem. Hello, Eminem. Why do you do this? 666. I don't know. Maybe it's just me seeing things. Kanye West.
Mark of the Beast on the bingo card.
Oh, we could speak a lot about him, but it's so boring. LeBron James.
Was this the guy who was severely overcompensating while talking about cheerleaders because he didn't want to look gay? Yeah, I should actually play that clip because it's very funny. Let me play it real quick from like last week if you missed it. I'm just going to play the really quick clip. He was watching a video about the Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight, and he inexplicably started talking about the women in the background.
First photo where they're doing the weigh-in. As you can see, Jake Paul is wearing pants, and Tyson is wearing these Versace slips, and then he touches his intimate parts. This is just to prove that, to make it look as if Mike Tyson is not the man, even though he's the legend, and Jake Paul is the man with the pants. I'm just gonna focus on the sexy girls because that's what I like. When cheerleaders in basketball and the sexy girls in boxing match, they're so awesome. Their breasts and legs and stuff. I'm a man, so I'm just gonna focus on the girls, right?
Oh yes, their breasts and legs. Their breasts, they feel like they're bags of sand. That's a female enjoyer right there.
NBA basketball. I know. Why do you have to do that? I thought it was just for music and actors and entertainment. But then again, basketball in the NBA is also entertainment. So, hey, American football. I mean, let's be honest. I prefer soccer, okay?
To be clear, by the way, I'm not saying he's, like, gay or anything. I just think he's insecure about his masculinity. That doesn't inherently make him, like, in the closet or anything. But whatever he happens to be, he's certainly insecure.
European football. Well, you still have things like this, but less. But you have. So, yeah, American football, just in case. Hey, Lady Gaga. Remember that video I made about Lady Gaga? She said how she met that man in the suit in New York when she was not famous, and then like selling her soul and stuff. Hey, so the rock sign. I hate smoking. I don't like smoking. Why do you smoke? Okay, so we have Denzel Washington, Christina Aguilera, Drake, Victor Cruz from American football, Kanye West, LeBron James, Rihanna, and Beyonce. Hey, oh man, in the early days they were so hot. So anyway,
so hot. Again, he is he finds women very attractive. He likes sexy ladies.
Yes,
a weird thing to bring up constantly. You know what I mean?
I see a 666 again. I don't know why I'm still encountering that stuff over and over. Justin Bieber.
Probably the paranoia.
Tyra Banks, Emma Watson, Justin Timberlake, Michael Jackson when he was natural, Bill Clinton, Drake, and Lady Gaga. I don't know. I just opened Google. YouTube is a company owned by Google, and Google is a company owned by Alphabet, and I just see these.
Yeah, that one's definitely a hook 'em horns. He's from Texas, or at least he lived in Texas. I don't know where he was actually born, but wasn't he the governor of Texas too at some point? I don't remember for sure.
Things I just see them on the first page. It's on Google. Hey, and YouTube belongs.
My aunt was a swimmer for Texas, whatever Texas University does the hook 'em horns thing.
To Google, so I'm cool, right? Hey, why is Bush doing the same stuff as Bill Clinton, Prince William, Michael Jackson, Barack Obama?
Wow, it's almost like this is a hand symbol everyone does at one point or another. Crazy. It's incredible to me that they can look at a wide swath of different people making a vaguely similar gesture that everyone at some point makes, just through all the gesticulations we do, and goes, it must be a conspiracy and not just a thing people do with their hands for one reason or another.
Hillary Clinton, Ronald Reagan. Hey, remember the Ronald Reagan?
My grandpa was actually missing some fingers, so he was missing these two fingers, so he was just like that all the time. He was great.
Stuff with the aliens and extraterrestrials, yeah. That's Italian. Rihanna.
He got his hand caught in a machine at a GM factory.
And Quentin Tarantino. Rihanna.
True story.
Sorry, and Quentin Tarantino. So yeah, hello, hidden eye. This makeup is not the best. I've seen way better makeup. So,
sir, in what universe do you think you get to judge that?
Oh, wait a minute. Wait, why? Bono, Lady Gaga, Kesha, Aldous Huxley, Nicki Minaj, Michael Jackson, Miley Cyrus, formerly known as Hannah Montana, and Eminem. Hello, me too. I like you too. The salute, Arnold.
That's him showing off his body because he's a bodybuilder at this point. I mean, he still does do bodybuilding, but at a lower intensity because of his age, and he doesn't really do competitions anymore. But this is the height of his bodybuilding career. Have you seen bodybuilding poses? Yeah, a lot of them are just weird, different things to show off different muscles that they've worked out. Yeah, that stomach's fucking crazy.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. The salute. Okay, the hidden hand. I am hiding a hand. George Washington, Karl Marx, Nietzsche.
I'm just gonna put this out there. If you've ever worn a jacket, like a jacket that's like this, that has a little thing like that, it's satisfying to put it in there. I say this as someone who used to wear men's clothes all the time.
Baron von Knigge, and we have that in the Mason stuff. Frederick Bartholdi, Joseph Stalin, and Napoleon. Hey, it's just history. I'm looking at history. Look at Winston Churchill doing the victory sign. Hey, wait a minute. Am I dreaming? I just found this on Google. Rihanna, Michael Jackson, John Lennon, Michael Moore, Nicki Minaj. Whoa, not bad, huh? Let's do a zoom. Not bad, huh?
Once again, see, he's like, aha, look, boobs.
Mouse, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, and Hillary Clinton.
It's peace. It can mean a variety of things. It can mean peace. It can mean victory. Some countries, it's actually a lewd expression. The thing about symbols is the symbol and what it symbolizes are only arbitrarily connected by our cultures and our own personal perceptions. Fun fact.
I just came along. Oh, look. Okay, I see 666. I see 666 in on the Monster Energy drink 666, which is like from the Hebrew alphabet. 6. Hey.
It's actually scars, like a monster.
And I see Taco Bell. Look, 666 and Taco Bell. Why?
Is it?
Why Taco?
It's just a bell. What the fuck are you talking about? It's a bell. You're just circling a circle 3 times and acting like it's 6s?
Well. And Vodafone, in case you didn't know, the mobile company, the telephone company. It's just coincidence. Look, oh, so hot. Beyonce and Lady Gaga doing...
Okay, no one do this, but in hypothetical, a drinking game could be every time this guy randomly brings up how sexy he finds a woman, that's a drink.
The 666. This is like
oh yes, so sexy ladies.
You know, the mobile company, the telephone company. It's just coincidence. Look, oh, so hot.
Oh, Beyonce, so hot. I love the women.
And Lady Gaga doing the 666. This is like a famous song from the 2010 or 2009. Walt Disney, 666. Look, Chrome, 666. It's just coincidence. It's just me. It's on Google. Hey, Google Chrome belongs to Google, and YouTube is a Google company, so I'm cool, right? I'm respecting the terms and conditions. Britney Spears with a python, Harry Potter communicates with snakes, and Rihanna on a super cover magazine with a snake. Why? Why is the snake all the time? I see.
What do you mean snakes all the... You picked 3 examples of pop cultural depictions of snakes and decided snakes are everywhere. I went looking for snakes. What's up with all these snakes?
Snake. Have you read the
particularly in like Anglo-Western Christian cultures that have historically been Christian or Abrahamic, serpents are known as depicting like corruption or like trickiness because it alludes to the like biblical canon of the serpent in Eden, later meant to represent Satan. Originally not, but it's sort of post hoc become that. So as an image, as a symbol, it evokes specific ideas and feelings. In the case of the Rihanna cover, she's not just with a snake, she is depicted with snakes for hair, like a gorgon, the most famous example being Medusa.
The terrible document. Before the terrible document was printed in 1844, there was a statement done in Vienna about a snake. So,
yes, and also sexuality, potential phallic stuff, you know.
Beyonce, Lady Gaga, and Madonna, and the MSN Messenger logo. I see a butterfly, monarch butterfly. No, it's just a coincidence. Nothing to see here. So, hello?
Doesn't know what a coincidence is on the bingo card. It's not a coincidence. You went and seeked out 3 images of people with butterfly imagery, and you're calling it a coincidence. That's not what a coincidence is. Doesn't understand coincidences on the bingo card.
Oh, Jay-Z. Jay-Z or Jay-Z, doing the rock sign. Salute. What is your favorite? The salute or something else? Let's. I just wanted to show you stuff. Let's finish the video with 2 zooms. Let's zoom. Zoom. Wait, don't zoom too much. Don't zoom too much.
Did he say terrible document 1844? Because that's thinly veiled anti-Semitism on the bingo card, and that would be him referencing the fraudulent Protocols of the Elders of Zion, which is a known fake document anti-Semites have used for generations to try and demonize Jewish people, which he has referenced before in videos.
I will zoom now.
That's thinly veiled anti-Semitism for alluding to that in a thinly veiled manner.
I'm not going to zoom anymore. I'm just going to finish the video with the salute. With the 666. That's fine. Yeah, because this is like something that you see every day. You know, the barcodes and the Monster Energy drink and the Taco Bell and Vodafone and Walt Disney, man, and Chrome. See you next time.
He's frustrating, isn't he? Ooh, Vince McMahon. We'll watch this in a sec. I'm sorry, I gotta run and use the bathroom again. I've been trying to drink more fluid today, and I've done a good job, but that also means I have to urinate. So, while I'm gone, Cher will tell you about Vincent Price's cooking show, Cooking Price-Wise. Think I'm joking? Look at it. It exists. Be right back. All the food tastes like wax. I understood that reference. Alright, let's get into this. This is a conspiracy theory about a WWE Survivor Series commercial, which I guess they're gonna try and see a bunch of conspiracy stuff in. So let's check it out.
This is a topic I've covered many times over the past, stating...
Oh no, I actually can't watch this. Shit, I still don't want to cover politics. And this definitely has mentions of the orange one. Shame. We'll have to skip that one for now. I did want to watch this. This is a video from Channeling Eric, that channel that claims to speak with the dead and channel spirits and stuff. This I found interesting specifically because of the introduction of a new person on the show, and she explains how she got into channeling, and I think it might be a little enlightening as to how stuff like this spreads to people from YouTube videos and gets them down the pipeline. Let's listen real quick. Oh, it's okay, Harold Elbelman. Thank you. I like the book. Yeah, I didn't bring it up here, but Harold Elbelman sent me a little golden book that's based on the movie Alien. A is for Alien. Very adorable. Thank you. I appreciate whenever people get me stuff from my wish list. If you could, when you get stuff, try and leave a note, though, because I do like to know who they're from. A lot of the time, they don't come with notes. And if you want it to be anonymous, that's fine, too. No pressure, but I do like to get little messages.
Hey, guys, guess what?
beautiful
Phoenix.
people. We have just a very exciting group here. Two of these beautiful ladies, Kate Jamison from Australia, that's how you pronounce it, and of course Ginger Bailey. Their information will be on the screen and of course in the description box. And I think let's start with maybe you, Ginger. How did Katie come to us?
So I received a message or an email from Paula, okay? And Paula was looking over a lot of what Katie does, and she thought it'd be, and she was excited to wanted her to be able to be introduced to the CE family. So
no, this isn't about Neanderthals again. This is called light language and sound healing. Again, I didn't watch most of the content of this. I just found the intro interesting. So after the intro, we might bail. But the intro I did find a little prescient.
So me and Katie have talked already before this, and I'm very excited for everybody to get to hear all that she does. She's healer, teacher, channeler, and she uses music for sound healing, among many other things.
Very soothing voice on your YouTube. Oh my God.
Yes, I know. Oh, and she has a YouTube channel. So
Yes.
I mean, just so much that she does.
And we'll put that in the description box as well. The link to the YouTube channel.
Yeah. So I think too, what's interesting is going into the galactic, like the ancestry and the galactic, healing that she does. But I'm going to let you tell everybody because there's just so much more to it than this.
By the way, hi Eric, I love you.
I've been talking to Eric this morning.
He's saying hi, Mama, I love you, and he says he's very excited because he likes this time of year, like the holidays. So
we will have a place at the table just for you. Sweetheart.
Yeah.
For those that have not seen me before, I know we got a raid earlier. The woman on the top right, Eliza, she's the one who actually owns this channel. She had a son who unfortunately passed away some years ago named Eric. She, through this show, believes that through these self-claimed psychics, that she gets to still talk with her son, Eric. I don't tend to talk about that aspect of these videos, because, like, damn. We're all thinking the same thing with that. I think we're all on the same page about how that's, like, sad and, like, uncomfy. So I'm not talking about that.
Talking about that, yeah.
All right, Katie, tell us about yourself.
I guess, thank you for that introduction. Yeah.
This is the part that I wanted to talk about, which is her introduction.
I guess I do a range of different things. I want to start by saying, the first time that I really got into, the reason that I reached out was, the first time I really realized how psychic I was, maybe, 7 years ago when I started listening to Channeling Eric, and you would interview these spirits, yeah. So I remember when Jamie was on, you were talking to Jesus, and you were talking to all these beings, and I realized I was hearing the answer. So you would ask a question, and I would hear the answer before it happened, and I'd be like,
You mean your brain thought of something? Because that's what that is. I'm concerned by the number of people that don't know what their own internal monologue is, and that not only can you speak in your first-person voice in your head, but you can have intrusive thoughts, or thoughts that come through that seem like they're presented as dialogue from some other hypothetical third-person point of view. Those are still your thoughts. That's still your brain. That's not psychic ability. That's your brain. You might not identify with these thoughts, but they are nonetheless your thoughts. You know how you know that? Because you're hearing them in your brain. They're all yours.
well, that's weird. Anyway. And then I started realizing I could speak to the spirits. So I remember you brought through Robin Williams and Kurt Cobain, and I was just having he was just sitting in my living room, and I was just talking, being like, am I going crazy? So I think
probably focusing on that thought a little bit more would have saved you from being on this show.
Like Eric was like a big part of, he used to mess with my lights. Like I lived alone for a long time, and he was just like a big part of my journey of like realizing what I do. And then it kind of eventuated into, now I do 4 main things. My big love is like making music that takes people into other dimensions.
Oh yeah.
So when I studied sound therapy, I learned how to travel interdimensionally to
She makes soundscapes.
Atlantis, to Lemuria, all of
Atlantis on the bingo card. We did it.
These places I started to access through the medium of sound. And when I came back from school, I was like, well, I studied classical music. Maybe I could make music that takes you to other realms. And what I found is like when I started making music, like everything in my world would disappear and like I would just go into another dimension. So I realized.
Again, she seems to think that some kind of like meditative inward focus, a thinking that puts you in a mental state where you feel detached from the physical and more you're just like in your head, you're in your imagination, you're in your, you know, your thoughts, right? She seems to think that that's another dimension. Once again, it is not. That's your brain. That's just stuff in your brain. It's one of the cool things about your brain is you can kind of detach from the physical, sometimes consciously, sometimes not, like when you sleep and you have REM sleep. And like, you can imagine these different places, or meditate and feel like you're in this, like, whatever. That's not psychic ability, that's just your brain.
If I channel into sound from the higher state, it is imbued within the energy currents of the sound waves. So
She lost herself in her own creation. It reminds me of those kids. God, what was this called? There was a trend on TikTok some time ago, and it was basically people, they were lucid dreaming, more or less, but they had convinced themselves and some of their audience that they were, like, dimensionally shifting and living out lives in these fictional realms. I don't remember exactly what they called it. Dream something, maybe? I don't know, but, like, people were claiming, like, oh yeah, I have this whole second life in, like, Hogwarts and stuff, and it's like, oh boy. Reality shifting, that's what it's called. The number of dissociative disorders going on in the world that are undiagnosed is, like, genuinely shocking to me. I say that as someone who's had some real problems with disassociation that I still struggle with.
what I realized is when other people started listening, they would have the similar experience of where I was when I was making the music. And that doesn't always happen. So yeah, I started a company in Australia called Vibrosound, and we make music that you lay on a bed and then it projects the sound frequencies into your body. So it's shifting your cells, shifting your water, your body.
So the bed vibrates with the music.
It's everything like that. And then I started to do multidimensional energy with it. And I was like, when I started training, just aliens started coming through. Like I had dreams where I woke up on ship and they were doing weird things to me. And I was kind of like at the middle of my spiritual awakening. And then I realized these are just my family. So now what I do is I read people's galactic lives, I read their quantum fields, and I essentially just see into the energy body and find where blocks are or limiting beliefs or past life trauma.
Nikigami says, and yet tons of conservatives think imaginary friends for children is mental illness. I'll just take it as a positive that they're not saying kids are communicating with demons. Because I think there's a fair portion of people on the right that would think something like that at this point.
From our galactic stuff and take people from here to here in there. Most of my clients are like people who want to develop their psychic skills. Pretty much all of my clients are healers, right? Because I feel like I'm here to tune up the healers. And then the third thing I do and love to do is teach. So I just teach how to clear chords with people, how to go to the
we can, Mr. Blast.
ship, how to use galactic technology, how to speak light language, how to do all of the things that I do, because it's not that hard. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't tell yourself.
When you know what to do, and when you,
Yeah.
it's not that hard when you look at what's blocking you from you're already there. So it's like, what are you buying into instead of being fully, and it's like persecution, wounding, fear, like all of these things. And then it's also turning your brain on and activating those other aspects of your soul into this human vessel, right?
Yeah, that, I really think that is a great way that you go in and you can see blocks that people have.
I think I'm done with this. The introduction was mostly what I found interesting. Let's see, let's take a look at the bingo card. Then we'll get to the next video. We have Satanic, we have... Yells at clouds for the clued guy at the beginning. I forgot to mark that. Believes they speak to aliens regularly. We looked at that guy at the beginning that does that. Vibes-based conspiracy. Yep, Atlantis. Thinly veiled anti-Semitism. Don't think we had reptilians yet. Doesn't know what a coincidence is. Illuminati, Freemasons, Cabal. And Mark of the Beast. Yeah, popular media is evil for all the pop stars and movie stars and stuff. How can a bingo card be 6x15? No. This is not any individual's bingo card. This is the master list. Everyone who's playing bingo has a normal bingo card with a certain amount of these potentially on it, but this is the pool of all of them. Different bingo cards have different spaces. This is the master list that has all of the potential spaces that are on the bingo cards. Yeah. All right, I think that catches us up. That way you don't have the same bingo cards with all the same stuff every time. This is an older video. This is about 6 years old, but it's about 5G, and I find it a little interesting because that was about when 5G was rolling out for the first time, and now it's been around for years and years. So let's see how their initial reactions of this conspiracy theorist to today.
Wow, look at this wonderful looking tree here, man. Wow, what a gorgeous tree.
The point he's making at this is not a tree, it's one of those cell towers that's disguised as a tree. You've probably seen them at some point. 5G on the bingo card, of course.
Yeah, this tree seems to have a generator running into it. Welcome to the future, folks. It's getting really weird.
Does he not understand that it's it's less aesthetically displeasing? Like, it's not supposed to trick you into thinking it's a tree, you as a person. It's just supposed to be less obtrusive to the skyline. It's supposed to be less obviously like, oh, here's an ugly gray thing. I don't know if he gets that.
These are all things that people should just snap out of it, and they don't. Well, next up is your 5G towers. You know why?
Because gee, I wonder whose voice is cameoing there.
This is gonna be...
Never heard of him.
Comic, blatantly obvious, the zombie tumor, burn your sound face, but they're getting with...
Professor on TED Talks, who was also an engineer, who was explaining in 2016 how bad Wi-Fi is for people. How bad it's gonna mess people up. How many people that have...
Wi-Fi's fine. There's no any sort of study that shows that Wi-Fi is dangerous. There are people who have a mental illness, unfortunately, where they can perceive themselves to have a sensitivity to electromagnetic frequencies, but whenever this has been tested in a blind study, it is always shown that it is not the actual presence of these things that make people in pain. It is the perception that they are in the presence of these things. So, for instance, if they believe that there is an active Wi-Fi router in front of them, they feel pain, even if it's just an empty box with a blinking light. It's a psychosomatic illness. There's no evidence that these things are dangerous for people or that they're, like, causing headaches. That is a psychosomatic illness that, unfortunately, some people have, called the nocebo effect.
Killed themselves because of their sensitivities to Wi-Fi. The people that are sensitive, the people that are targeted, the people that can feel Wi-Fi, the people that have bad effects to it, they were the test mice. And the powers that be are going to keep on pushing forward anyways. Everyone's going to be feeling this. You know what I'm saying? You realize that when 5G is up, which, I mean, it's already begun. They've already started putting the towers up.
Yep, and now they're everywhere. I live in, like, I said this years ago when I was doing this show. I have 5G constantly in this house, meaning I have 5G around me all the time and have for years, and I turned out fine.
They can detect if you have a concealed carry on you.
Although I did grow boobs.
From a drone. From a 5G.
Didn't Jimmy's brother in Better Call Saul have a version of that? Yes, he did.
Receiver, transponder, whatever they...
There's a really great scene in that show that takes place in, not really a courtroom, it's more of a hearing, and some stuff gets revealed. Very good.
They call them. There won't be any hiding anything whatsoever at all. People want to stand up against the government. I told you a long time ago. It's a fun thing to try to do. Stand up. But if they zap you, how are you going to use your gun? You're not going to know how. This technology has
you can't shoot the 5G
to drop you. And you won't even see it or hear it.
Here's what I consider, in my personal opinion, another crime scene. And I don't think I'm being dramatic saying this. Here's the cell phone tower. I want you to notice where this is located. Literally in the parking lot, right next to these stores.
Okay. Yeah, there's like a phone store. There's a bunch of things. It's a little mini mall. What's your point? 5G towers, by their very like nature of how 5G works, there's more of them than there were for previous generation of like phone signal technology because it has higher bandwidth than previous generations, but it has a shorter distance. So if you're within the range of a 5G tower, you're probably literally like within visual range of it. It's just they usually hide them pretty well. But like there are some you can see. Yeah. But you're like around one if you are getting 5G.
There's human beings working in these stores and eating in these restaurants all day long. And
yeah, man, they're fine. It's fine. It's literally fine.
There's a cell phone tower right there. That's hitting 1,000 microwatts per square meter, depending on the pulses that are coming off the tower. I'm across the street, as you can see. I wouldn't even want to get...
So that just kind of seems like that's the background then, huh? Micro per square meter? Yeah, I think he's measuring basically the background EMF.
Yes.
And the thing about 5G is, too, it's more directed the way that it works. Like, it directs the data stream more towards your device than in just a general outward, like, radiating from a center way. That's one of the reasons it's more efficient, is because it doesn't waste as much energy sending out the signal in sort of a broad range. It specifically, like, beams in the direction of your device. So, like, he's not getting a signal from the tower right now, unless his phone has 5G and it's beaming to him, but I assume he doesn't have a phone that's 5G capable because he's into this stuff. So, what did I miss? There was something. Oh, Green Guy with a $3 tip says, you would make a ship sail against the winds and currents by lighting a bonfire under her decks. I have no time for such nonsense. Napoleon Bonaparte on the steam engine.
What the radiation exposure is inside of those stores there. And
go into one of the stores and measure. It's probably the same, because again, I think you're just measuring the background EMF.
I have the meter set.
Which you're going to have everywhere, because EMFs are just, like, everywhere. Like, light is part of the electromagnetic frequency. It's the visible spectrum. So, like, as long as the sun is there, there is a light source, there's gonna be some.
On average, which you can see here, it says RMS, which means microwatts per square meter average power density.
That doesn't seem like a lot.
This is 800, 900 microwatts per square meter. Goes even higher. Once again, biological effects start at 3.4 to 6 microwatts per square meter average power density.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right, or you got a broken machine, my guy.
To broadcast the entire Earth, it takes 2 kilowatts, 2 hair dryers. Now a microwave...
I got another one, Napswip.
Oven uses...
Welcome to the 5G club.
1,000 watts, or 1 kilowatt. Here's the damage 1 kilowatt...
Thanks for following, by the way, welcome.
...can be done by somebody when they take a magnetron out of a microwave and turn it into a ray gun. This is just a small example of a low-tech weapon running on 1,000 watts.
Not a very good weapon. Also, do you understand the effects of different kinds of, like, frequencies of EMFs are very different? Like, there's a reason that we don't use microwaves to take x-rays, right? And we don't use x-rays to try and cook our food. They do different things. They have different effects.
Then you have these things here, these huge towers of death. Now each...
They're not, they're fine. Again, this video was from 6 years ago. Where's the evidence of all these issues? Oh, there isn't? I guess they were just wrong again.
Row in this tower, an array, or a set of dishes or rectennas or whatever you want to call them, is connected to a cable with a maximum power output of 300,000 watts, or 300 kilowatts. That's 300 microwave ovens. We base that conservative estimate...
Again, the power isn't the point. It's outputting different things. So just because the power is higher doesn't mean it's doing the thing the microwaves are just doing at a higher power. It's a different kind of EMF.
Based on the gauge of the cabling that's running up to one of these arrays. They're estimated at 300,000 watts per cable. These cell phone towers are weaponized. There's no other reason to have this much power running up the cables.
What are you talking about? So the signal works. What do you mean?
The point is here, ladies and gentlemen, is that these companies like Lucent and Google could turn up the juice at any time and nuke a town. They could nuke the entire...
They really can't. That's not what 5G does. But even if it did, that's not a very good business plan, is it? Because their businesses trying to make money by selling people access to data, not James Bond villains.
Entire country without any warning, without anybody being able to protect themselves. They could cook them like a boiling frog in the middle of the night. This infrastructure is not only in place, it's built up with multiple levels of redundancy. Every big city has thousands of these death towers. And all that needs to happen is for an AI from Google or whoever to come in and nuke everybody at once and take over. Who out there remembers that?
5G towers don't have anything to do with nukes. What are you talking about?
Movie Terminator. Well, Google doesn't have to send a Terminator to every door or launch a nuclear strike. It can just turn on these cell phone towers to maximum and cook everybody within the city limits within an hour.
No, that's not how anything works.
Then just send in the Terminators to mop up the countryside. And then just send in the Terminators to mop up the countryside. And then just send in the Terminators to mop up the countryside.
Okay, well that was certainly a video. Okay, I think we're done for the day. We're going a little short today, but I'm just getting back into it after a couple days off, so I'll be back tomorrow to do a longer stream. Dillis Filler with 40 bits says, when 5G's going through your bagel, you can cook pizza anytime. When 5G's going through your bagel, you can cook pizza anytime. Foxers, thanks for 12 months. Since no one won the bingo, I'm gonna do a random gift sub. Just anyone, we'll see who wins. Doop-a-doop-a-doop-boo, boop-boop-boop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop-boo. Shenanigans Creative wins the random gift sub. Cool beans. Let's see who we're gonna raid here on Twitch. Like I said, I'll be back tomorrow. I'm not sure exactly what we'll be doing. I have some more religious scare films I might want to watch. Other than that, I'm not sure. I'll see you tomorrow too, Phoenix Leftist. Who will we raid? Who will we raid? Raid, thanks, Internet. Sure, why not? Oops, that's not what I do. Maybe New Age, maybe the origins of New Age spiritualism. I don't know if I know enough about the origins, but I can try and find some stuff. I also wanted to get in some MLM stuff, so I have some resources that I'm looking into to get into doing some anti-MLM material, but that's a story for another day. Have a great night, everyone! See you later! Doot, doot, doot.